Today, I want to share all the fun purchases I made. You kind of go crazy in the vendor hall, but it was fabulous. One of the most exciting quilt shows to attend is QuiltCon, hosted by the Modern Quilt Guild. And in 2025, they came back to Phoenix, Arizona, my hometown, and I spent a wonderful 4 days at the show. As you can see, I got the official t-shirt. I pre-purchased the merchandise because a couple years ago they had sold out of the t-shirts and I didn't want to miss adding to my quilt t-shirt collection. MQG also sold these great bags. They're huge. It's like a full duffel bag. You could fit yards and yards of fabric in here, so that was a great thing as well. I started my purchases with this adorable pineapple pincushion, and I chose the pineapple because that seems to be the theme of QuiltCon for me. In 2016, I took an improv pineapple class with Heather Jones, and this year in 2025, I took the mega pineapple class from Libs Elliott. So we'll show off those blocks in a different video, but I think pineapples are a great symbol for QuiltCon for me, so that's a treasure. I was also in the market for a seam roller. If you have watched any of my live videos, I do a lot of finger pressing, and I thought having a tool to do that would be fabulous. And instead of a roller, I found this kind of wedge tool, and it is a beautiful blue sparkly design, so that fits right along with my true blue quilts. And since this was a small purchase at that booth, I also got my Aliso travel iron because it's in the fabulous Tula Pink colors, and I love that design. And I had been thinking about getting a small iron to keep near my sewing machine, so that just kind of made it easier to put the whole transaction together. Now, I love quilting attire, and Maker Valley is the place that I shop for quilt shirts most often. And I wanted to buy the whole shop. They had tons of great designs, but the ones I chose were So Happy in those nice cool colors, and the self-care, because we all love our sewing machines and that's the best form of therapy. So hop over to Maker Valley and deck yourself out in these great fashions. I am super excited. I better get going on this project because it's due soon, but this is the Abyss collection of fabrics from Cherrywood, and they do a challenge every year, and they select some of the entries for their challenge for a traveling show. So if you go to an exhibit where that is on display, they are incredible works of art, all with the same palette, all built around the same theme, but such diverse interpretations. This year it's called the Abyss, and of course, all these wonderful blues and an ocean theme. I have a great idea. I can't wait to see it come to life. Now, you may know So Kind of Wonderful for their curves, but they've also come out with a straight ruler for half rectangle triangles. And I love HRTs. So I've been doing my own designs, but I bought the Northern Lights pattern and the quick straight ruler just to learn some other techniques and expand my knowledge of half rectangle triangle designs. So I'm going to put this together soon, and I'll share a video coming up on using the quick straight ruler from So Kind of Wonderful. Another booth that I was intrigued by was the Sew Tights booth, and this is their rotating mat that is magnetic. So I can't wait to break this out and use it. I got the booster pack to hold templates in place, hold your fabric steady, and I also got the 6.5-inch ruler. So this is going to be fabulous, and I can't wait to do a full demo video for you. I think you're really going to enjoy the So Tights products. They're going to make cutting so much easier, and I also want to explore the magnets for my long arm, but that's a whole different setup. So we'll start with the magnetic rotating mat and the booster pack. Next up was threaded lines. This vendor gets my award for the best bag because look at this. It's got the carry handles, but it's also got the handheld handles. So this makes this bag so versatile. Well done, threaded lines. At their booth, they had all of the exploding hearts patterns on display, and so I picked up 2 of them because I love the full-size version for patriotic colors. So this one's done in the American flag, and then I couldn't pass up the Arizona version. I've done a version of the Arizona flag. That was my postage stamp project for the centennial, and I thought it would be really fun to do a mini version in just to have hanging because mine's a little bit bigger than this. So we'll share our love of my home state of Arizona. Now it's time for the account reconciliation. I need to decide if I went a little crazy, over budget, and wasted my money on things I'll never use, or if some of these were actually smart purchases. So I came up with a little rating system, and let's take a look back at everything I purchased, and I'll explain my rationale a little bit. Here are the 4 areas that I'm going to evaluate, starting off with the basics. How much did the product actually cost? And you can see I'm using $1, $2, or $3 signs for the low cost versus the high cost items. Also, is the item realistic? Am I going to use or make something with it in the next year? Next, is it useful in my business? I am a quilt designer, teacher. Is this product going to make that business more efficient, more profitable? And finally, is it pretty? I think they all definitely get gold stars in this category, but we'll see. For the QuiltCon merchandise, I'm going to give myself a pretty good score here. It was low cost, definitely pretty, somewhat realistic. I think I will use that tote bag quite a bit going to classes. Useful in my business, not directly, but again, toting materials to classes and retreats is definitely a useful item. Next is the So Tights magnetic cutting system. And this is probably the most questionable item that I purchased. Very high cost. Pretty, of course, yeah, those are nice colors. Realistic and useful in my business. This is where it may not have been a smart purchase because I can cut with a regular rotary cutter. I have the AccuQuilt, but we'll see. Long-term investment that may pay off. The Cherrywood Challenge Bundle was another questionable purchase. It's a little bit expensive to buy those half yards of fabric, but so pretty. Not useful in my business necessarily. I mean, if I were on the traveling tour of challenge entries eventually, then it might get my name out there. And realistic, I'm pushing myself to get this quilt done by the deadline. My pressing tools got put to immediate use, so this was definitely a good purchase. The Aliso irons, obviously you can go get a cheap iron at a local shop, but so pretty, and like I said, I have put them to use immediately. Okay, so I could have done without these patterns, but they are relatively low cost and definitely pretty. And I'm going to have fun making them. They don't work really for my business because I design my own patterns, so why would I buy someone else's? But, you know, and also realism. Am I going to get these done soon? Probably not, but they've been on the bucket list, so sometimes you just have to indulge. The other item that falls in that questionable purchase category is the quick straight ruler from So Kind of Wonderful and the accompanying pattern. Low cost items, you know, it didn't set me back a whole lot, and they're pretty, you know, depending on what I do with the quilt top, obviously. That's open for interpretation. Not very realistic. Again, I already have methods for making half rectangle triangles, but it definitely is an investment in my business to learn from the quote competition. I think we're all in this together, and promoting each other and trying to build that community is always a good thing. If you'd like to put a little more planning into your next quilt show purchasing, then download my Shop Hop Planning Guide. It can be used if you are taking a trip to your local shop or if you are going to one of the major shows that has lots of vendors and opportunities to build your stash and tool supply. Overall, I think I did make some smart purchases, tools that will help my process and my quilt life, projects that I'm going to enjoy making and cuddling with for years to come. So I think I did a good job. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you ready to make some scrappy blocks and support a worthwhile cause? The 2025 block drive for Quilts of Valor is focused on a log cabin, and I share how to make it in this video. Take a look.